Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, nerdlings of all ages, we have a Protoss spawning in the top left position. Not too surprising in this mirror matchup in the red colors representing Team Millennium. We have, ladies and gentlemen, it is Feast. And in the bottom right-hand corner, we have representing Team Liquid, one of the fan favorites here in this tournament, but can he get past his Protoss opponent here? Ladies and gentlemen, the GSL boss, it is HerO. Now, I do want to point out, by the way, that we did have Feast beat HerO at IEM Kiev last year. And he progressed out of his groups when HerO did not. So HerO might be looking to get a little bit of revenge here. Feast, a very underrated player, it has to be said. But HerO, of course, being such an unbelievably good player as well, it's going to be difficult to tell. I suspect that HerO is still the slight favorite, but anyone who just goes into this matchup going, oh, this is easy, it's going to be a very quick 2-0 for HerO, no, I really don't think that's the case, as we see Feast now scouting his main base for those proxies. Even if the scoreline ends up being 2-0, Feast is going to give us, hopefully, some really fantastic games here to watch. So right now we have gas being taken from Feast relatively early on, a little bit faster than that of HerO. That will give him the slightest bit more flexibility here when it comes to dealing later on with potential tech. In fact, he's actually taken 2 gases very early as well, so he's looking to tech up relatively quickly in this PvP here. Feast obviously has something planned for Ohana. Let's find out exactly what it is. 3 Harvest just immediately going into the first assimilator, and no doubt he'll be starting mining from the second ASAP as well. And we should be seeing additional buildings go down very shortly. Wouldn't be surprised to see... There we go. I can stop holding my breath. The cybernetics core go down. So let's find out what he's going to be using that gas for. Second gas now being taken a little bit later for HerO. So guys, pretty exciting PvP mirror matchup here. We have HerO now going to be going up with a probe scout, and let's see if he ends up clicking on the gases from Feast, because if he does, he will see that Feast got his gas timing significantly quicker than HerO did. And I wonder if HerO is going to be able to pick up on that. All he needs to do is click and just check how much gas has been mined. He's now into the main base. Let's watch for that small blue circle around the gas. Do we see it? Yes, he clicked that gas. And he clicked that one as well, so perhaps he knows now that a lot of gas has in fact been mined. The probe just going to be hanging around for a little while until Bob the Zealot chases him out, but we have got a sentry being chrono boosted out as well, so he will be able to tickle that probe to death if HerO is not too careful. Here, Feast still has not gotten a scout off yet on HerO, so doesn't know exactly what is going on. And there's the Stargate. Did the probe see the Stargate? The probe did not see the Stargate, but he's going to be going back around for one more spin, and oh dear, the Stargate play has been revealed. So HerO knows exactly what's coming now, and I love this Twilight Council. It looks like that's going to be going down, and oh, hang on just a second. Stargate got cancelled, and Robotics Facility has started for Feast, so a little bit of mind games coming on here. HerO has seen the Stargate, ran out of the base, Stargate immediately gets cancelled, Robotics Facility goes down for Feast. Part of the game plan, or is he thinking on the sly? We'll find out in just a bit, but really cool stuff coming out here in the early game. Some mind games popping up, going up to a second gateway. Would not be surprised to see a third from Feast at this point. Twilight Council now chrono boosting out Blink as quickly as he can. HerO wanting to prepare for those Stargate units very, very early on so that he doesn't get caught out. And it looks like he's going to be doing a little bit of prodding with some Stalkers out in the middle of the map. In the meantime, Gateway going to be going down here. Not too out of the ordinary. Still haven't seen a third gate, though, so it looks like he's going to be sticking on 2 for a while. And we see him chrono boosting out an Observer from this Robotics Facility, potentially with an Immortal to follow up. And he's going to really want that, especially if HerO decides to come in with a Blink Stalkers. Those Immortals going to be so useful against those. We have got now another gateway going down in the back of HerO's base. 3 gateways now, plus the Twilight Council, where Blink is almost finished researching. Warp Gate research is now done, so we just need to turn these gateways, and there we go. We have a forward piling going down at the natural expansion here, but it looks like it has been scouted from Feast. Oh, and it actually gets cancelled as well. Feast taking that forward pylon as a sign of very early aggression indeed, immediately putting a pylon down on its high ground. ground instead and canceling the expansion. That's exactly what he needs to do. Is it going to be enough to hold this off, though? Another sentry to try and force field the ramp as much as possible. And oh no! One Stalker blinks ahead of the others. Such a smart move there from Liquid HerO, not allowing the force field to go off. And all of a sudden, HerO picks off every single sentry and gets the hell out of dodge. What a surprisingly good play from our Team Liquid player here. Will he be able to finish it off? That was just exemplary control with those Blink Stalkers. And Immortal is now out, but HerO's still looking like he might fancy his chances. Additional gateways coming out now from Feast. There are only 2 gateways here, and HerO has 3 gateways worth of reinforcements, but the second Immortal now out for Feast, so it's going to be a little bit difficult. Will HerO be able to make his way in edgeways? He might want to sacrifice this Stalker by blinking it forward and then having the rest come up. A Zealot now going to try and tank those Immortal shots. So I think HerO's trying to get up to the high ground now. Going to use that Zealot to tank while the rest of them blink up on top of this army. Very, very tense times here on Ohana so far. Zealot once again wasting that energy from the sentries. And we don't actually have another force field at the moment. So will he be able to get a word in? Oh dear! Here comes the Zealot! This is HerO's chance. And no, he elects against it, sees the army on the top of the ramp, and decides it might not be worth it at this time. Continuing to warp in additional units. What other stuff do we have going on? We have a robotics facility coming up for HerO as well, so potential for blobs play with observers, of course. Both sides deciding that neutral supply depots really suck at this moment in time, so it looks like they're going to agree on one thing, and that is to completely destroy that. And Feast now going up to 4 gateways. He should be able to hold this now, especially with 3 Immortals on the field. HerO, though, going to be going for a Warp Prism. Pardon me, Feast going for a Warp Prism out of his robotics facility at the moment, and this is a very, very interesting move indeed. He's going to try and bypass HerO's army entirely, use the Immortals as defense, and see if he can't warp in and try and disrupt the economy of HerO that way. HerO, though, is getting his natural expansion, so this Warp Prism might just be Feast's ticket out of here. Let's see if he's able to do anything with that. Will we see a couple of sentries put into the Warp Prism, I wonder? It doesn't look like it at the moment. We could... oh, there we go. 4 Zealots going to be going up into that Warp Prism, and he's going to try and harass as much as possible. HerO still with this contain here at the main base of Feast. He is 68 supply versus Feast 73. The worker count is 35 to 32 in favor of HerO at the moment, and it looks like HerO is going to have to back down at this time. The Warp Prism gets spotted by this forward pylon, and HerO knows exactly what is coming at this point. The Warp Prism actually going to turn around and go home. I like this move. The pylon will not be able to spot it coming back. However, this probe will. How unbelievably thorough there. And here we go. Feast trying to move his way down. But we have the force fields actually stopping him from moving down with the rest of his units. And that is disastrous for our red Protoss player. One of the Immortals gets picked off. A sentry going as well. And a couple of Stalkers. Is Feast going to continue moving down with the rest of his army? He is. But another force field preventing the Immortals from coming back down. And HerO just picking off units left, right, and center. Really, really well played there by Liquid HerO, continuing to keep the contain up. And the problem is, we now have the Nexus completely up. Feast has an observer. He sees all of this, but he has been delayed so much coming out of his base. It's going to really be frustrating him at this point. And that Warp Prism play, unfortunately, came to naught in the end. Let's see if he ends up going for another drop. But HerO, of course, spotting it with his own observer. So very, very well played so far from HerO, but he does have, oh dear, another blink up into the main base this time, thanks to that observer being there, but it doesn't look like he's going to be able to get much done. The Stalker's actually holding off quite nicely indeed, and the Immortals just getting to the party as HerO departs. Funnily enough, the observer is still there, so I wonder if Feast is a little bit wary of this right now and might make an observer of his own to move in. I'm not sure. Here we go. 4 Blink Stalkers thinking about moving up into the main once again, and HerO sees that the army is out, and there we go, straight into the mineral line. Excellent play there from our Team Liquid player. Will he be able to disrupt the economy as much as he wants to? One-shotting those probes. 3 probes. 4 going down now. 5, and this is worth its weight in gold. 6. 7, and still using that blink to do so much damage. 8, 9, 10 probes and counting, and now Feast has blink of his own, so he's going to be chasing these Stalkers out of the base, but HerO should be able to escape with 3 of them at this point. We now have Feast knocking on the front door of HerO with some Immortals in his army composition as well. The problem is HerO also has Immortals of his own to defend. The number of workers killed is 12 to 1 at the moment, and HerO looking like he might be able to hold on here, but those Zealots taking a lot of damage in the front of Feast, and HerO even pulling probes. He does have 3 Immortals though now with this army composition. It looks like he's going to be able to hold it off. 80 supply to 53. HerO taking a pretty substantial lead in game number 1 here. Still only 4 gateways, 41 to 20 workers in HerO's favor. Feast has to one base it, has to all in at this point. There really isn't that much choice for him because HerO is so far ahead as far as economy is concerned. He's going to try and go in for another shebang at the natural expansion of HerO, but I'm not sure it's going to be enough. 4 Immortals and counting with this army composition, and getting a couple more Zealots in with this composition too to try and stave off the sheer amount of DPS that those Stalkers and Immortals have been doing in the background. So as long as he gets those in front, HerO might have a good engagement here, and it looks like Feast is going to be moving in, attempting a kill move here, but if this doesn't kill him, I think he's in a very difficult position indeed. Trying to shoot up the ramp, possibly an opportunity to blink forward a little bit later on, but 4 Immortals and an excellent concave from Liquid HerO. Feast is blinking back quite nicely, but so is HerO at the moment, and these 4 Immortals just doing oh so much damage. A 5th Immortal coming into the fray now as well. Feast blinking up aggressively, desperately trying to take this army down, but the Immortals just doing way too much damage. All of the Immortals from Feast are now completely destroyed, effectively only Stalkers left, and everything is holding from HerO. He is now 82 supply up to 46, and the worker supply is 43 to 19. HerO at this point has this game in his hands. My, oh my. Meanwhile, back in the main base of Feast, he really is running out of options right now. He's trying to blink into the main base, doing a decent bit of damage. Not, because it looks like that Immortal is going to be able... Oh my goodness, so much damage being done there, and GG. Feast trying to find a way in edgeways to see if he could win the game, but sadly, that was not going to happen, and the Liquid HerO, ladies and gentlemen, goes up 1-0 in this round of 16 match.